Good morning, guys. So if you are someone who's watching the pre-recorded video, at this point, you definitely want to stop, go back and complete that RTL. Otherwise, this video is going to go really fast for you. If you're someone who's in live class, make sure that you've chatted out your response to whatever question I asked you to put in the chat already so that you can get your points for participation today. Today's lesson is an extension of Friday's lesson. You'll see that in the title of the day's lesson. We will also be using an iCivics game today. We're going to start off with a learning target. After we go over the learning target, we'll have a video that I'm going to show you. And finally, you'll do your actual iCivics game to review the material from Friday. Let's get started. So, I will be able to explain the importance of the judicial branch in the USA's democracy. So a couple of words should be familiar to us in this learning target. First, democracy. In a democracy, we should know by now that the people, this is a type of government where people choose, I'm gonna erase this, people choose leaders by voting. So we know a democracy is a type of government where we, the people, get to choose our leaders through voting. We should also be familiar with this term judicial branch. We learned about it on Friday. We learned on Friday that there are three branches, three sections or groups that are responsible for actually running our government. Those branches are the legislative, executive, and just gonna erase this, sorry guys, and the judicial. So let's start off with the legislative. In your RTL, you should have figured out, or just if you're thinking back to Friday's lesson, we know the main responsibility of the legislative branch is to make laws. The main group in charge of the legislative branch is our Congress. If you need that diagram from Friday, you can scroll to the second page of your daily packet and it will be there. So our legislative branch makes the laws. The main group within the legislative branch is our Congress. Now to the executive. The executive branch makes sure people follow the laws. The person in charge of the executive branch is the president. So now we've got one branch making laws, another branch making sure people follow the laws. Sometimes people get confused by the judicial branch because they're like, well, what else is there to do? That's why we're going to start off today by focusing on the judicial branch. The judicial branch is really important. It makes sure laws are fair. It makes sure laws are fair. It also protects our rights. Not every law ever made in America has been fair. Some of our worst laws have been driven by racism. Take, for example, segregation, separating people based on their race, or slavery. These are laws that the legislative branch passed at the time. They were real laws in the US that were made in a legit way by the legislative branch. They were signed by the president in the executive branch. When a law is created that is unfair, sometimes it takes the judicial branch to step in and say, hey, you know what? That law is unfair. If the judicial branch decides a law is unfair, the law is canceled. It's canceled. Now, the judicial branch can't make a new law, but it can say to the legislative branch, hey, you can't do that. So now what we're going to do is move to a video that gives you a nice visual review of these three branches, which again we learned on Friday. After the video, I'm going to go straight into explaining how to get to your iCivics game today. So here's a video to give us a nice visual overview of the 3 branches of government.
Welcome to Kids Academy. Hi, boys and girls. Do you know how laws are made? There are 3 branches of government in the United States. Each branch has a special responsibility in the lawmaking process. The legislative branch makes the laws. The United States Congress runs the legislative branch. Congress members introduce bills which are ideas for new laws. A bill cannot become a law until it is approved by the executive branch. The President of the United States is the leader of the executive branch. The President can approve or veto a bill. When a bill is vetoed, it is rejected. When the President signs a bill, it becomes a law. The executive branch also enforces laws to make sure that people follow them. The judicial branch is made up of courts and judges. The U.S. Supreme Court is the highest court in the judicial branch. Members of the judicial branch review laws to make sure they are fair. It's trivia time. Let's see what you know about the 3 branches of government.
Okay, we're not going to do trivia time, guys. So right now, what I'm going to do is take you through how to actually access the iCivics game today.
So depending on whether you're using a computer or a tablet today, you'll be playing a different game to complete the Daily Packet Lesson 5 extension, Branches of Government. To complete this game, you need to follow the directions for game play, which is the 3rd page of today's Daily Packet. For computer users, I'm going to go over the steps you need to take in order to complete your assignment today first. If you're a tablet user, skip to the portion of the video that talks about directions for tablet users. Computer users, step 1, you're going to click on the login link for iCivics. When you click on the login link, you'll be brought to this page. Step 2 asks you to log in with Google. If we look at our iCivics page, on the bottom left, you will see this sign that says sign in with Google. You must click this button in order to sign in. It says sign in with Google at the bottom. Click it. When you click sign in with Google, you'll get a list of emails. Your HVA email will most likely be on this list. If it is, simply click it. If it is not, click use another account and then use your HVA email when you are prompted for your email and password. My student HVA email is here, so I'm going to click on it. When I click on my student email, I'm brought to this page. We are now on step 3. Once you're in, click on My iCivics in the top right corner. I'm going to click on My iCivics. When you click on My iCivics, you'll be brought to a page that looks like this. Step 4. Scroll to the bottom and hit Classes. Once you've clicked Classes, you need to follow step 5. Scroll to the bottom of the page. and click on the assignment at the bottom of the page titled Lesson 5 Extension, Supreme Decision. So this is key. If you're on a computer, you need to click on Supreme Decision. In order to access the Supreme Decision game, you're going to click Start Assignment. This will bring you right to the Supreme Decision game. You simply hit play to begin. If you are having issues with Adobe Flash Player, you need to check out the video which is attached to the post that walks you through the steps of how to enable Adobe Flash Player. You will need to enable Adobe Flash Player, not just for social studies, but for other classes as well. Please make sure that you watch the video to enable Adobe Flash Player. If you are using a tablet today, you are following a different set of directions. The first thing you need to do, if you have not already, and this was displayed on the video in the screen just before this section of the video, on a tablet, you must download Argument Wars in order to participate in the game. So make sure to download Argument Wars. In fact, I'll add that. Download Argument Wars from the App Store. Okay, once you've downloaded Argument Wars from the App Store, you need to follow the same set of directions. You're going to go to the login page. You're going to sign in with Google. Click the Sign in with Google button. Then you're going to choose your HVA student email account from the lists of emails that pops up. If your student account does not appear on this list, hit Use Another Account. My student HVA email is here, so I'm simply going to click on it. If this option is not working for you, you need to text me immediately. You can find my number everywhere on Google Classroom, including in today's post. If this portion, or if you've gotten to this step so far, the next thing you need to do is step 4. Step 4 says to click on the My iCivics in the top right corner. Step 5, scroll to the bottom and hit Classes. Step 6, scroll to the bottom of the page. Click on the assignment at the bottom of the page titled Lesson 5 Extension, Argument Wars. Lesson 5 Extension, Argument Wars. Choose Start Assignment. Oops, I'm sorry guys, I clicked on the wrong one. Argument Wars. When you click on Argument Wars, you'll be brought to this page. Step 9 asks you to click Next Case until you come to the case called Brown versus Board of Education. Hit Get Started once you've found it. Okay, so this says Bond versus United States. This is not the case we want. Brown versus Board of Education. This is the case we want. Now we can hit Get Started. As always, take a screenshot of your final score. If you are having trouble logging in on a tablet, text me immediately. Thank you.